National Signing Day is Wednesday, and Coach DeBoer taking what Coach Nick Saban started and looking to get the number 2 recruiting class to the finish line. Could there be any upsets, surprises on National Signing Day, which is Wednesday? Alabama with 3 big-time guys ready to sign and be part of that class. The Hoops team moving up in the polls, although they have an epic showdown against Auburn on the Plains, but they're up to number 16 in both polls. And the Athletic in Arizona writing a story that implies that Alabama and Coach DeBoer were tampering with the Arizona quarterback. Completely false. We're going to get into that and more. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let's get this thing started. And we begin with a hearty Roll Tide. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. I'm Mick Gillispie on the socials at Broadcaster Mick. And let me remind you that the show is presented by our friends at Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Philadelphia, Mississippi, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours from Birmingham. And it's like Vegas. You got that Vegas-style sports book, the Timeout Sports Lounge in Golden Moon Casino, the table games, the slots. You can bet in there, watch all the games, smoke a cigar in-house, go play golf at the Augusta that you can play, which is Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, best course in Mississippi, one of the best in the entire South, and more. Find out for yourself, including Ron White, the Wallflowers, the OJs, a lot of great acts play there as well. That's Pearl River Resort. All right, let's get into this now. Let's talk about it. I had the shortest stint probably in the history of On3 when I was doing shows for them last year, and then they canceled our channel. And that was kind of surprising, but at the same time, I have a lot of respect. And when I was trying to figure out what service to use, it's like, you know what, man, those guys, even though I don't work there, still have a ton of admiration for what they do. And here's their rankings. And the reason I wanted to bring their rankings up is to show you guys. And of course, Andrew Bones still comes on some of our shows. They have Alabama ranked number 2. And what's really cool that they do is they kind of have a composite sometimes where they take the other recruiting services. So you guys may remember that I was doing this on the rival site before I was with On3. Now doing it myself. And everyone kind of has their own way of scouting. But Alabama, behind Georgia, still with 5-star prospects. They've got 18 4-star guys, or check that, 16 4-star guys. And Ohio State 3rd, Oregon 4, and Miami 5th. Now, what does that mean? It means that Coach DeBoer has done a nice job of not allowing things to unravel since he's taken over for Coach Nick Saban. And that's a big deal. And I think that the biggest deal for him was grabbing this guy. And that is Ryan Williams. And remember, Williams, who grew up an Alabama fan, decommitted from the Tide when Nick Saban announced that he was retiring, probably just thinking, this is going to be a disaster. I got to get out of here. Well, he's recommitted to Alabama. But he's still going to pick on Wednesday. I think they were originally going to do it on Friday on his birthday, and now it's Wednesday. We'll kind of keep an eye out for that. But he's 2-time Mr. Football in Alabama. And this is a 16-year-old guy who reclassified to get to college sooner. So I don't know that you could say that anyone coming from high school to college is, someone that can't fail. But this guy's really unbelievable on the football field, and so he's picking between Auburn, Texas, and Alabama, but he's committed to Alabama. So we'll find out. He's been recruiting for Alabama Pretty interesting, just to think about it, that through all of the bad stuff that we dealt with for a couple of weeks, including Caleb Downs transferring and Isaiah Bond going to Texas and Amari Niblack leaving town, and just guys that you expected to be part of the program moving forward in the future. And then Ryan Williams decommitting. That was one of the real gut punches. And Coach DeBoer and his staff did an excellent job of reeling him back in and doing it in a timely manner because they didn't have a lot of time to do that. But they still have to sign. So to finish this class off, it's Ryan Williams, 5-star, Noah Carter, and a 4-star. That's the defensive edge rusher from Arizona, and then QB Reese, who is a defensive player, not a quarterback, out of Ramsey High School. And all three of those guys are set to make their decision made official on Wednesday, and we're expecting all those guys to join Alabama's class. So that's all good news. And honestly, the job that Coach DeBoer and his staff have done, hats off to them. Not hats on the table, but hats off to them. Like, really, things could have gone a lot worse. And what's incredible to me is just the timely manner in which the whole process was able to unfold. And I got to give Greg Byrne a ton of credit for immediately targeting DeBoer, getting on a plane, going out, meeting with him, working out a contract, bringing him back. And then the guy hasn't even been home yet, maybe today or tomorrow, sometime soon, but he hasn't even been home. I mean, he's hit the ground, and you talk about hit the ground running. Coach DeBoer has been there and then went and got Kane Womack from South Alabama to come in. That kind of helps nail down that area, which right now is so just stacked with talent, like Saraland's Ryan Williams. So if Williams does make it official on Wednesday, yeah, I'm not expecting him to pull a surprise on Alabama. I mean, it would be like a chair shot to the back if he, ended up going somewhere else. So I feel like Alabama's in real good shape with him as this thing moves forward. So something definitely to keep an eye on. Now, something else that I really hate to talk about, but you have to bring this up, is I get this text from Big Elmo yesterday from Brett Elmore, and he's like, "You're not going to believe this." And so I'm like, "No, I don't believe this." The story in The Athletic was that Fifita was, I think that's how you say his name. Anyway, Arizona's quarterback led them to 10 wins, and you saw the way that team kind of came together. He's a real talent at quarterback, and he's not in the transfer portal. But these guys write this story that Fifita led Arizona to 10 wins and is considered one of the top QBs in the sport. His dad has now revealed that Alabama reached out to them despite Noah never entering the transfer portal. Well, his dad came out and said, "I never heard from Alabama. Coach DeBoer never talked to me. This is absolutely ridiculous." It's like the same thing that happened when people that are apparently credible media reported that Dan Lanning was on a plane from Oregon to Tuscaloosa, like right after Nick Saban retired. You have to get these things right. And there used to be this thing called sourcing, right? Where you would have to source it. Like you had to get two different people to confirm it. Different people, not the same, right? And everyone makes mistakes. But there is no sourcing anymore. I mean, this is absolutely fake. And if you Google, there's stories all over the country about Kalen DeBoer tampering. And the same news people need to go back and read what the dad said. It's like, this is absolutely, he's like, he put the poop emoji in his retort, but it's just so bad, and there needs to be accountability to people that do mess up. I mean, look, I get it. You're not going to get them all right. Blue bloods bias on X, right, which used to be Twitter, and they have the check mark. But the check mark now is something you pay for, so that doesn't mean that they're credible. And obviously, they're not credible, right? It's funny that like the Athletic was the one that started all of this. Like the Athletic normally is the place you go to get the right news. But if you make a mistake like this, you should either be suspended or fired. That's just the way that it should be. It used to be that way. Like, oh, well, we didn't mean it like that. We what we wrote was that that he had it down to 3 schools. Alabama is the one we were really entertaining, or let me pull it back up because I can't see the bottom of it. Alabama is the only one we were really interested in outside of Arizona and staying, and obviously Washington, right? Basically, what they said after they got embarrassed for misreporting is that, it was just take the sentences apart. What we meant was there 3 teams contacted Fifita, but only Alabama was the only one they wanted to go to. So it gave that impression that DeBoer was not, forget about Austin Mack, that they were really interested in this guy, which, I mean, look, this guy's pretty good quarterback. Can you imagine, though, like, you think the transfer portal was hot with Julian Sane rolling out? Can you imagine if that would have been true? But that would have had a huge impact. But it was absolutely false. I love the fact that they highlighted the word illegal. Okay. Anyway, bad reporting here. Absolutely false. An embarrassment to the company. And you put that one right there with the people that said that Dan Lanning was flying to Tuscaloosa because a local news guy in Oregon said that he was. Can you imagine that guy? Wasn't he watching Jason Bourne movies? I should just start the feature of media idiot of the day. Like, who's going to mess up today on just something outrageous? And hopefully it's never me. Look, everybody makes mistakes, but this is one of those stories. Like, you're going to accuse the Alabama football coach of tampering. You better bring the facts. Yeah, and then there's the fact that the dad came out so strong with the poop emoji makes me proud. I like that. Don't mess with that. All right, let's change the page here. Let's turn the page and let's talk a little hoops. And I know that some of you guys are going to be like, man, I'm just not that big of a basketball fan. Well, you should be, because right now Alabama is in the midst of maybe the best basketball that they're going to have. Because if they don't get that arena built, they're not going to have Nate Oates. And the only reason that they're good like this is because of Nate Oates. And I keep saying that because it's true, not because I want that to happen. I don't. But somebody's going to come in and pay this guy so much, and they're going to have the nice facilities that he's going to leave. So Bama's up to number 16. They're 16-6, both polls now. They do play at Auburn. That's going to be a really tough game for them. If they win the game against Auburn, watch out, because Auburn's got their sights set on Alabama. It's at Neville Arena, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Auburn, it's not going to want to lose to Alabama 4 straight games. And look, they have a great coach in Bruce Pearl, and to beat them 4 straight times would really be something, because you got to beat them twice down there, right? So anyway, that's the top 25, or at least the top 17, because Alabama's in there at number 16. Auburn number 12 and number 11. So that'll be a pretty good matchup when those 2 teams tip off. And I know everyone will be watching, and we'll see what happens. All right, final thing I want to talk about. Love the comments in the comment section. And look, I'm doing this to educate. This is actually a real Alabama baseball helmet from like 2001. Okay. This is actually from came from the team. And look, the reason that I got it is because of the A. See, this is the A that they went to. That's the A that they had. And that's why the Atlanta Braves maybe didn't sue Alabama, but they said they would if that A didn't start to look like that. Because look, this looks exactly like the Braves A, or really close to it, right? So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that. I know some of you in the comment section were like, "What are you talking about, Mick?" Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's batting home. See if I can wear this thing. So anyway, that's what we're doing right now, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. You get the difference between the two A's. This thing's tight, man. I'm ready to hit some fungos though, or some BP or something. Like and follow. Thanks for hanging out. And again, appreciate Pearl River Resort for being part of the show. And don't forget, also presented by our friend ChadwickAnderson.com. Help me get into this house. 10,000 families that he's helped get houses for. Like this is a house for my regular baseball hat. He's also an investment consultant and an Airbnb expert. That looks so ridiculous. But find out for yourself, ChadwickAnderson.com. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Roll Tide.